Hello, and welcome to Sports Time with Barney, and I am your host, Barney. And last time we left off after the 10th pick of my mock draft, so we'll pick up there with pick 11 with San Diego. And I believe that they should take Lane Johnson, the offensive tackle out of Oklahoma. However, I feel that Eric Fisher will still be there, so I think that they will actually take Eric Fisher out of Central Michigan, their offensive tackle, instead. With the 12th pick in the draft, Miami, I believe that they'll take Keenan Allen, the wide receiver out of Cal, and he will be the first wide receiver taken, and I believe that they will actually take him because no one's taken a wide receiver yet in the draft. And then moving on to the 13th pick, Tampa Bay. I believe that they should take Jonathan Hankins out of Ohio State, the defensive tackle. However, I think that Star Lotulelei, I know I mispronounced the name, I apologize for that. The defensive tackle out of Utah, I think he's a little bit better. I think he will in reality still be there, so I think that Tampa Bay will actually be taking him instead of Hankins. And moving on then to the 14th pick in the draft with Carolina, I believe that they'll take Sheldon Richardson, the defensive tackle out of Missouri, and I don't see any reason why they won't really take him in reality as well, with not just who I think that they should take, but who they actually will be taking as well. Just because there's not a real big of a difference between Hankins and Richardson. I think he fits their mold better. Then New Orleans, I think that they should take Sam Montgomery, the defensive end out of LSU. He'll be a beast for them. And New Orleans does need help with the defensive line. However, I think that they will actually be taking Jonathan Hankins out of Ohio State, the defensive tackle, just to plug up the middle, and he will be a good plug for them so that they won't be able to be run on as much as what they have been. With the 16th pick, St. Louis, I think that that they should take Jonathan Cooper, the offensive guard out of North Carolina. I think they need a lot more help on the offensive line than any other needs to help out Sam Bradford. However, I think they'll take Patterson, the wide receiver out of Tennessee. He is also a good fit for him because he will help alleviate in the passing game, which will be another threat for Sam Bradford to throw to. However, I think the offensive guard should be a better fit for them than the wide receiver. With the 17th pick is Pittsburgh, and I have them taking Jesse Williams, the defensive tackle out of Alabama. Pittsburgh needs some help on the defensive side. They're getting old and aged, and they just need youth over there. And that's who I think they should take, because I don't feel that Sam Montgomery will be there, but I think Sam Montgomery will be there. So in my will draft, I think that they will draft Sam Montgomery, the defensive end out of LSU, who will be a very good pick for them. With the 18th pick is Dallas. I have them taking the defensive tackle out of Georgia, John Jenkins. He'll be a good fit for Dallas. Dallas needs some help on the defensive end. However, I think that they will be taking Jonathan Cooper, the offensive guard out of North Carolina, to help out Tony Romo, who desperately needs some help there on the offensive line. However, I don't think that he should be there because I think he should go earlier, but I think he will be there. With the 19th pick is the New York Giants. I think that they should take Alex Okafor, the defensive end out of Texas. He will be a nice fit for them because they do need some help on the defensive side. However, I think they will be taking Lane Johnson, the offensive tackle out of Oklahoma. I have him going number 11 to San Diego in the should draft, but I don't think that they will be taken that high, and I think he will be still available for the Giants, and I think that would be a great fit for them. So that's who I think they will actually take, which would be not a bad choice for them. With the number 20 pick is Chicago, and I see them taking Alex Ogletree, the linebacker out of Georgia, which I think is a great fit for them, especially with Urlacher aging, and whether they stick with a 3-4 or a 4-3 defense, he would either learn from Urlacher or play beside him, which will be a phenomenal help for him. With the number 21st pick, Cincinnati, I think with everybody that is who should be available at that time, I have Cincinnati taking Kenny Vaccaro, the free safety out of Texas. I think he's probably one of the best safeties in this draft, and Cincinnati's aging in the safety department, so I think it would be best to let one or two of their safeties go in order to pick him up in the draft. However, I think Cincinnati will be taking Manti, the middle linebacker out of Notre Dame, which is a steal in my opinion at this late point in the game, because I think he should be a top 5 prospect. However, with all the issues that he's had, like I stated previously in my last episode, that he will fall. And with Cincinnati needing a better middle linebacker than Ray Mualuga they have now, Teo will be able to step right in and anchor that defense for many years to come. And then with the 22nd pick, St. Louis's second first-round pick they got from Washington, I think that at this point in time they should pick up Patterson, the wide receiver out of Tennessee, because I think he should still be available at this time. However, I think that they will actually take Eric Reed, the free safety out of LSU, because they already got their wide receiver earlier in the draft. And then with the 23rd pick, I have Minnesota taking DeAndre Hopkins, the wide receiver out of Clemson. And that's who I think that they should take, and that's who I think that they will take, because Minnesota needs some help, another target for their quarterback, and he will be a good fit for them. The 24th pick is Indianapolis, and I have DJ Fluker, the offensive tackle out of Alabama, and again, that's who I think they should take, and that's who I think that they will take, because they need some more help for Andrew Luck there on the offensive line. Seattle with the 25th pick. I think that they should take Sharif Floyd, the defensive tackle out of Florida State. However, I think that they will end up taking Jesse Williams, the defensive tackle out of Alabama, who actually I have ranked higher than Floyd, and that's why I have him taking him instead of Floyd. Green Bay, I have them taking Dion Jordan, the defensive end out of Oregon. Be fast, his speed, great help there on the defensive line, which I think Green Bay needs, because they need to have more pressure on the defensive on the defensive line to help out their linebacking core of Clay Matthews, who is a great player, but he can't do it all himself. However, I think that Green Bay will actually end up taking Barrett Jones, the center/guard out of Alabama, which actually would be a really good fit for them, because their center Saturday is retiring, so he would be great pickup for Green Bay just to plug in and go. With the 27th pick, Houston, I have them should be taking Trevon Austin, the wide receiver out of West Virginia, and that's who I think that they will be taking too, because they need some help on the offensive side with who to throw to besides Andre Johnson, and he will be a good help for them. He's a nice speedy guy for them. 28th pick is Denver, and I think that they should be taking Ziggy Anisha, the defensive end out of BYU. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that. However, I do believe that John Jenkins, the defensive tackle out of Georgia, will still be available. So I think that's where he will go. With the 29th pick, New England, I think that they should be drafting Eric Reed, the free safety, because I think he's the best safety available at that point in time. And New England doesn't need a whole lot of help, whole lot of places, but the defense end, then that would help them. However, I think Kenny Varco the defensive safety, free safety out of Texas, will still be there. So that's who I think is actually better than Eric Reed. So I think that he should actually go to New England with that pick. With the 30th pick, Atlanta. This is probably the easiest choice that I've had with the whole mock draft, because I only see one person going to Atlanta at all. And they could have picked almost anywhere in the draft from like 7 on. They would have picked him up. Is Tyler Everett, the tight end out of Notre Dame, just because you don't know if Gonzalez is going to be retiring or not. If Gonzalez does not retire, you'll be able to help mentor him for a year or two, and which would be phenomenal to have a Pro Bowler mentor the next Pro Bowler that they'll have. And if Gonzalez does decide to retire, then you have his replacement with the first pick and never look back. Next, with the 31st pick, is San Francisco, and I think that they'll take Xavier Rhodes, the cornerback out of Florida State. I think he's the next best cornerback in the draft. I think the second best cornerback in the draft, and San Francisco needs some help on the defensive end, and I think he'll be a really good fit for him. Then, with the last pick of the first round, Baltimore, I think that they should take Kevin Minter, the linebacker out of LSU, as a replacement to Ray Lewis, because they'll be losing a lot of the defensive side whenever he retires, and they will need that help because they are aging over there. However, I think that they feel that they could probably get a linebacker in the second or third round to replace him, or in free agency. So I actually have Baltimore taking Alex Okafor, the defensive end out of Texas, to shore up the defensive side, which is aging. And that is my first round mock draft for this year. And I will most likely be making updates and changes to this after the free agency begins, because I do know that there seems to be talk with Kansas City and San Francisco for Alex Smith, and if that goes through, then the first pick of Geno Smith will not happen. So that will change up the whole dynamics of who I think will be taken. Not necessarily, it won't change much of who I think should be taken, but who I think will be taken will change. And I'll have another mock draft later on in the year before the draft, just after all the free agencies have been taken care of. And thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.